Hey everyone. So for my Keystone Project this semester, I decided to focus on faith. I was a little hesitant at the beginning of the semester to focus on faith because it felt like really basic or really broad or really general, and I felt like I needed to do something a bit more profound because I assumed all my classmates would, but it was on my mind so often that I figured I would just stick with it. And more specifically, I decided to make a handbook on faith. It was really cool because that meant I went through my Book of Mormon looking for every verse that referred to faith. I had never read the Book of Mormon with such an intent or a purposeful intent to find one principle in the verses. And I found so many. It was crazy. I didn't realize how often faith was referred to, whether it be big or little faith in the Book of Mormon. So how I created my project essentially is every time we'd have a reading, I would go through and I would mark the verses that talk about faith in yellow. You can't really see them because of the lighting, but there's a few here and there that show up. Um, but there are so many verses. There was always something to mark. I could never go a page without marking three or four things. But after I'd marked them in my Book of Mormon, then I would write down the verses on pieces of paper. And then I would write a summary of what that faith was referring to. And I did that so I could have like a compiled list of them at the end of the semester. And then I could put them into different subcategories. And it was really cool. One, because I didn't realize how often faith was referred to in the Book of Mormon. And two, I learned so much about faith and what it is, because what is it not, essentially? Um, One of the first verses that stood out to me most was in First Nephi 10:19, and how diligent faith leads to greater understanding. And I would honestly say that was a theme for me personally doing this Keystone Project, because I started to notice how big of a role faith plays in our lives. It's in everything from our decision to pray in the morning, to read our scriptures, to serve others, to commune with God throughout the day, to go to church, to do anything good, essentially. Anything that is positive or good or that comes from Christ is driven by the faith that it'll be for our benefit or for the benefit of others, and that it'll bring us closer to Jesus Christ. That was probably the biggest thing, is that diligent faith leads to greater understanding. Another thing that I thought was really interesting is in 2 Nephi 31, that faith leads to blessings for our posterity. Um, Really, the choices we're making now, what we're doing now, who we are becoming now, is going to impact not only ourselves, but the future families that we'll have one day. Um, and it really adds a different perspective to what I'm doing each day. We talk about these things all the time, but for me personally, I guess focusing on faith so much and realizing that my faith not only blessed me, but the lives of my future family, made me think about faith a whole lot more. It talks about faith in Alma 32, how it's like a seed and we have to nourish it. And I can say now more than ever that that is so true. Um, I think what I came to understand about faith is that it is intentional. Faith is not passive or anything like that. We have to intentionally show our faith every day. And when we do, I feel like the Lord intentionally blesses us. Um, I think one of the greatest lessons I learned this semester too is the importance of having faith in our trials. Um, it's really easy to lose faith, to give up hope, and to, really get stuck in our trials. And that's hard. I think each one of us has experienced that at one point or another. Maybe some of us are experiencing that now. But I can honestly say that if we have faith during our trials, that our Heavenly Father has a plan, that this is for a reason, and that we can come out on top, then everything's going to be okay. I really There were so many verses that I loved, and one to go along with trials is in First Nephi 7:17, and it's the faith to overcome. If we have faith in this life that we really can overcome anything that's set in our path, we will return to Him. In Alma, it says the faithful will be tried and tested. So honestly, we can look at our trials with a different perspective, knowing that they came because the Lord sees it fit to test and try us because He knows we can handle it. Um, and greater faith in Alma 7:17 brings the Lord joy. So really, our faith benefits not only ourselves, it blesses the lives of others, and it pleases the Lord. I think the greatest thing that I learned this semester, um, is that faith truly is the foundation of everything. You know, if we have faith in this gospel, if we have faith in the plan of salvation, if we have faith in the Book of Mormon and the restoration, then the rest of it will just fall into place. I came to know, I came to believe, I came to understand, and I came to change this semester. I think the biggest change I made is that I look for areas in my life where I have great faith or where I'm really lacking in faith and what I can do to increase my faith. And it has been a really neat experience because I felt like I'm so much more aware of myself spiritually because I'm constantly thinking about faith and in what ways am I showing my faith and in what ways do I need to show my faith more. So thank you for listening. Thank you for the feedback that you'll hopefully give me. And thank you to my classmates who helped with my digital dialogue on helping me to get here. But that's it. Thanks, guys.